Welcome to episode 112 of the Sports Marketing Machine podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Nizer. Today, we're talking about something most teams don't have in their playbook yet, their advertising strategy. It's streaming TV ads. So if you've ever thought, well, TV sounds great, but we don't have the budget for that, or I just work with the local guy and trust what he puts together for me, or it seems complicated, too many moving parts, this episode is certainly for you. I recently discovered a platform called Vibe.co. I'll put a link in the show notes, which takes everything you think you know about TV advertising and flips it upside down. No long contracts, no massive agency fees, just smart, hyper-targeted streaming ads you can run on demand. You could do it all yourself. It's great. So today, I'm going to show you the demo, walk through. We're going to build a campaign together. With all that being said, let's dig in. I'm your host, Jeremy Nizer. Today, we're going to dig into Vibe.co, a self-service TV ad platform. Allows you to buy TV ads on your own, target, do all the things that you're doing similarly to how you're running your meta ads, or if you're using bullet billboards, all of those things you control, you're targeting, all of those things on those platforms you can now do on TV. So we're going to dive right into it. So you're looking at Vibe.co. I'll put a link in the show notes for you to be able to check it out. But this is it right here. So put a link for your demo. I've got a person who works there that I've worked closely with, and she's done a really good job helping several other sports teams get started and get set up. But this is it right here. I'm going to go ahead, since I'm already logged in, I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm going to click it here. You're going to see I've got campaigns in here, but let's just pretend we're going to start one from scratch. So the first thing you do, you click Create Campaign. We're just going to name this Test Campaign. We're creating one from scratch right now. You're going to look at this and you're like, hey, this is very similar to meta ads. You are spot on. The layout is very similar. So what's our goal? Typically for most teams, TV isn't always your number one ROI channel. It's going to give you lots of great impressions, but it's really designed for more of an awareness side. But with Vibe, they actually give you a pixel to put on the back end of your website, similar to the pixel that you would get from meta ads. And what happens is you can actually calculate website conversions or even website traffic together because they put that pixel on there and they track it via the IP address. So build awareness is one option. Drive website conversions is another one. App revenue, this doesn't necessarily work for TV, but let's talk through. I'm going to add one more note here about drive website conversions. So how does this work? They track through IP addresses. So if I see a streaming ad on TV, we're watching Hulu or we're watching the MLB channel or whatever it is, and then I pop on over and I buy tickets, they can track that because same IP address. So this is how that works. So today we're just going to say, you know what, we're just going to build awareness. We want to reach as many people as possible. And then it goes down to your daily budget, lifetime budget. The minimum you can do for a daily budget is $50. So if you had $500 and you wanted to promote your opening day, you could run $50 a day for 10 days. And that's $500 and you're going to get some exposure in your community. Or you can set a lifetime budget. So $50 there you go. AI in here, they've got kind of a campaign creation assistance program in here with AI. It's under beta. So I just say, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself. We're all good. So we're good there. Time to move to the strategy. Click continue to strategy here. Now strategy name. So all apps, channels, TV, that's a strategy name. We could call it whatever we want, but we're just going to leave that there. We already know it's $50. But this is the part where I get very excited about it because as a marketer, as the person who's running ads for a team, I want to be able to target specific people. I want to be able to see what's actually happening rather than working with the local guy who sometimes will give me kind of inflated numbers. But I love this because you can actually run it yourself. So I want to target people who are 25 to 34 all the way up to 65. Great. Men and women, great, perfect. And then if I wanted to do a Spanish ad, I could target a Spanish ad. If I want to do an English ad, I could do an English ad. I've got the ability to do both of those here, all in the same platform. I can target people who have specific careers, but just for the sake of a wider net, let's just say you're in a smaller community in Minot, North Dakota. I wouldn't narrow into some of these because you're going to have such a small audience that you're not going to be able to really go after and really get the word out there. So I would leave all of that stuff be, which is great. But if you're in an enormous community, let's just say you're near New York City, and it's enormous, you can really target people a specific way. All right, next we go down here, in-market audiences and interests. We could do that. Website audiences or custom audiences. So in-market interest. So we can say, okay, are there people in this community? They have people that watch specific things or follow specific channels, but they've got a lot of data around audiences in communities. So you could select some of those if you wanted. Or you can say, you know what, I want to exclude website visitors, people who've already been to my website. You could do that if you want to. You could exclude your people who have already purchased. So you're not showing ads to people who have already purchased. When you have the pixel on your website, you can most certainly add that in there. But with the pixel, this is how this works. Or you can do target audiences from partners and what have you. There's a little bit of some nuance here, but what I like to do is say, you know what? Let me look in here for sports. All right, we've got sports all time. Perfect. Looks good to me. So I'm going to close this puppy back up. We got sports selected, locations. So this is the great part here. On the right side, you can see your strategy estimate, how many audiences, weekly, daily. So I'm going to click daily, and then I'm going to drill in. So let's go with Minot, North Dakota. That was someone that I had just mentioned there. So on average, it's going to reach about 1,666 per day. Households, and then here's the impressions. Now, not everyone is watching streaming TV in their house. Some are watching it at the coffee shop. Some are watching it in the car. Some are watching it in an Uber ride. They're watching it on their mobile devices. So really good opportunity there. You could upload, if you got your zip codes in bulk, you can upload those. But yeah, if you just kind of click in here, there's 2 cities there. Maybe there's some more here we can just add. And see if we can kind of increase a little bit here. But yep, this is the number per day they're going to show the ad to. So about 1,600 to 3,000 impressions per day in this specific community. And remember, you got a budget of $50 a day. It's probably not going to spend all of that, and I'll explain that in just a second. So there you go. We can put that in there. So we've chosen our city. Now let's choose our screens. Do we want TV? Do we want mobile? Do we want tablet? Absolutely. Yes, yes, and yes. All of those in there. But you notice it didn't really, the impressions and the estimates didn't really change dramatically, but the weekly audience size did. Because I recommend not only just TV, mobile, but tablet, put it on there. Maybe you want to run an ad on TV and then you do another campaign for mobile, and let's just see what happens. You could do that and actually see, well, how many people are we driving traffic to? Are they watching on TV, and do they come to my website? Do we get more impressions on the TV side? Do we get more on the mobile side? You have the ability to really understand and drill in how people are watching and really target people. So I love that. Inventory. This is the next piece that just gets me fired up and excited. So there's two tabs here, apps and channels and live sports. Some of those in here, you can't do live sports and audiences in the same strategy. So we would go back up here and say, you know what, let me go into my sports, and then we're going to go ahead and remove this one here. And now you can go down here and say, okay, I want to run my ad on MLB channel. We've got NASCAR. We've got NBA. You could do that. You have the ability to be able to target and do some things here on these specific channels. And MLB, if you're a summer collegiate baseball team, running it there would be great. I think NBA, the playoffs are taking place right now. You got a lot of sports fans. You could run ads on those channels as well during the games. So that's marvelous. Let's go on to apps and channels. So Vibe puts together a performance network of some additional channels that aren't necessarily listed here. Unfortunately, Apple TV is not included. You'd have to go through Google through those. But if you say, hey, you know what? I want to try some of these TV channels here, ESPN, some of these other ones, and really target people, you most certainly could do that. If you want to target other channels, maybe you're targeting Mom's Hallmark Channel, some of these other ones, MS Food Network, some of those. Maybe you're promoting a new food item at your ballpark or arena and you've got a commercial for that, a 15-second commercial. You're just trying to promote whatever it is, Food Network. But you have the ability, all you would do is just click on these and they would add them on the right side and it would say, okay, you would probably have to add a few more. There you go. I've added 6 different ones and it's going to show you here on the right side deliverability. Hey, we got excellent. This is great. You've picked enough channels for us to be able to target people. I would add as many as possible that you think are relevant. CMT's awesome. CNBC, lots of people watch that. Lots of different channels where you could actually show up and target, and they have estimates, weekly reach estimates for their specific network. So this is a big number, 72 million. That's for everybody in the United States, not necessarily in the community that we selected, which was Minot, North Dakota. So there you go. Very small community there in Minot. So you're looking here and you're like, Jeremy, these audiences aren't that large. Well, let's choose a different one then. Let's take a look. Let's go to another city. Let's try Sacramento, if I can spell it right. Sacramento, California. Boom. We got West Sacramento. Well, let's take that one out as well. So this has loaded us up. We've got pretty good deliverability, pretty good households, weekly audience size. We can keep adding here in adding some zip codes if we really wanted to. 100%, this would be super simple for us to be able to add that in there and just start adding TV channels and what have you. So we could certainly do that, which is great. Here's where you add your creative. You would add your video in here. I would recommend a 15-second to a 30-second video spot. You would drop that in here, and then you go. Once you've got that in there, you go down to summary, and we'll take a look. It's going to say, hey, you got to add a creative. You would do that. But then it would give you a summary of your campaign, and then you just hit go. And then you're off and running. But that's it. So I've given you a really good overview of how this works, a great demo from a guy who works in sports and helps teams here. So let's go back to some campaigns and actually see what some teams have already done. This is the Stockton Ports baseball team. So they did $50 a day. In this case here, they had a 99.3% completion rate here. We reached 10,000 households. Let's click reporting and actually just drill in. Let's just see what happens. So they started April to May. This is our month up here. And we can take a look and see. They spent $295, so call it $300. They had 18,000 impressions. Their CPM, their cost per 1,000 impressions was $16 because they were doing a traffic, a brand awareness one on this one here. But this one here, they're running website traffic, and it was $12.31. On average, your CPMs for Facebook are typically in the $10 to $16 range, depending the time. So this is consistent. This is exactly consistent. Cost per view, we're getting 1 cent. Paying 1 cent for someone to watch our commercial, absolutely, that is dirt cheap, super cheap, or 2 cents. That's actually cheaper than what you're paying on Instagram and Meta ads if you're running them there as well. So super cheap there. And in this case, we were able to track 103 website page views from there. And then each time they popped on over, it cost about $1.17. Here you can see they made some money, $378. On that campaign, they spent $554. You're like, well, Jeremy, they spent $378 and they spent $554 and made $378. Well, a lot of TV advertising is all about brand awareness. So some of it is just letting people know you're there and you've got games and what's happening. So here's some real live data for you to be able to dig into and chew on. and really drive into. So like I mentioned, I'm going to put a link in the show notes to vibe.co for you to be able to pop in there, create your own account, check it out, and also do an introduction for you. Happy to do that for Carly over there. She's happy to walk through a demo with you and kind of walk through how this would work, how other teams could use it, are using it, how other organizations are using it to drive more people to your sporting events or even your events. So a lot of teams are doing different off-season events, Halloween things, Christmas things. Great way to be able to promote it, get it out there, let people know about your events, and really get people excited about it. So super excited for Vibe.co. I think it's going to be super helpful for teams to be able to sell more tickets, grow their fan base, and an affordable option for you to be able to really get your word out about your games. If you've got questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll put the link in the show notes, and excited for you to take a look at Vibe.co if you're thinking about running some TV ads specifically on the streaming side. Until next time.